the one thing that yoga teaches us is that kind of what we learn on the mat, that patience with ourselves, that kindness, that compassion, that grace, what we learn on the mat, we can transition into our daily routine. And so that's a big component of this puzzle, is really transitioning into more of a wellness routine. So just to kind of give you a little bit of a overview of the wellness retreat, each day I will be offering mindset coaching calls or wellness coaching calls. And today we'll be discussing creating a routine. Tomorrow we'll dive into stress relief. And Wednesday we'll be eating and weight loss. That's a great one because I'll go into kind of how to boost your metabolism during this time. Detoxification is also kind of coincides with weight loss, but also overall health, kind of looking at what we're putting onto our skin and feeding ourselves and what our current environment is like and how we can really live a cleaner life. And then digestion will be on Friday, and that will kind of talk about, again, it kind of coincides with all of this, talking about what to eat to kind of enhance our digestion, and also talking a little bit about food sensitivities or maybe foods that can help to optimize our overall health. So that's kind of an overview of the course. Within the course, you'll find my 5 Steps to Natural Weight Loss and Vitality ebook that I've made fillable. So you can go in and you can download the book and you can fill it out because it's an interactive ebook. And within that ebook, it kind of breaks down a little bit more of a customized approach. So an example would be talking about hydration. What is an optimal level of water for you to be drinking per day? In general, I encourage half your body weight in ounces of water, pure water, filtered water every day. So cheers to some water. I created a custom menu plan for this retreat, and it's gluten-free and dairy-free. And the reason why I did that is because so many of my clients that I work with have issues with food sensitivities and primarily gluten and dairy. So don't worry about anything. It's delicious. There's plenty of different options. There's breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. And so you will be eating throughout the day. It's a very clean eating meal plan. I created a grocery list that's broken down by categories included within that. And then I've also shared some of my favorite recipes as part of the menu plan. So get excited to get vitalized. And again, this is all within the course content. And I'll put a link in this video so then that way, if you haven't enrolled for it yet, enrolled for the course, you can do that now. Perfect. So let's just spend a little bit of time going into creating a wellness routine. So a few things that I would like for you to ask yourself right now is, do I have a regular schedule that I consider healthy? So do you? Do you consider your schedule right now healthy? How do you feel on a regular basis? Do you feel good? Does your energy fluctuate? Is your digestion really not as optimal as you would like for it to be? Are you more moody or more anxious? I mean, I think that it's a given that obviously right now we might feel some anxiety or depression or just feeling overwhelmed. So check in with yourself, because oftentimes what happens is our body is here, but our mind is over there and our heart is over there. And so what I really want you to do during this retreat is to kind of hone in on your emotions and kind of lock yourself into being more mindful and aware of the present moment. And that includes everything, what's going on in the world as well, and kind of just checking in with yourself and checking in with how you're feeling. And then also, are there things that you can modify in your daily routine to feel better? So this is a big part of crafting your daily wellness routine. And what are those things? So in the ebook, I kind of go through some information on talking about maybe obstacles that you might have that are kind of interfering with your daily routine. So an example could be maybe that you're going to sleep later in the evening. You're unable to unwind. Maybe you don't have like a specific sleep routine. And so you're going to sleep maybe around midnight, but then maybe you're waking up around 3 a.m. and you're looking on the news, or maybe you're just unable to sleep, so you have a snack. And then you're sleeping in until 9 or 10 or 11 or maybe noon, whatever that may be. And then it kind of throws your whole day out of balance. Maybe you feel more lethargic than normal because you didn't get your optimal 8 or 9 hours of sleep. Maybe you're feeling more moody, or maybe it's leading to weight gain because your adrenals can create more cortisol around your midsection. And don't worry, we're going to talk about stress tomorrow. And so this is kind of a segue into that, because we will talk more about stress and sleep. And there's links within the course where I talk a lot about the adrenal glands, which regulate your stress. And I also give you some of my favorite sleep tips as well. So there's a lot more resources aside from just what we're talking about today. But just as an example, this sleep cycle that's dysregulated, how can you enhance that? How can you improve your current sleep cycle? So to me, the key is definitely having this, trying to have some sort of a consistent schedule, a consistent sleep wake routine, and also, thinking about balance and moderation. So that could include food, that could include your screen time, that could include maybe if you're over exercising and under exercising, that can include alcohol, that can include when I talk about food, I'm talking about maybe overeating and undereating. And so really, in order to create this routine or this wellness routine, is to kind of look at all of these different factors that I have laid out in the course on day one, and then just taking some time to reflect on maybe some of your obstacles and kind of maybe writing those down. So then that way you're more aware of them. And that should help you in the long run. It should help you to be able to maybe come up with alternative solutions. So an alternative solution is to really turn off your screens, your TV screens or computer screens or whatever that may be, at a certain time of the night. Perhaps it's 8 or maybe it's 9. And then maybe reading a book for a little bit of time, or doing some deep breathing or meditation. And even if you're not tired, perhaps trying to close your eyes and unwind a little bit to allow yourself to fall asleep, perhaps by 10. And then setting your alarm perhaps for the next morning at 7. So if you wake up at 6, it's fine because you have your 8 hours, or your 7 hours, pardon me. But if you go ahead and you sleep in a little bit longer, then that's okay. But I feel like this might help you to develop more of a sleep wake pattern. So in this course, one thing that I would encourage you to do is to create either a journal, and I've attached a food and observations journal, so you can kind of start to write down what you're doing, what you're eating in your lifestyle, and what you're doing in your daily life, and how it makes you feel. And then from there, you can begin to create your alternative solutions in your schedule. So oftentimes, again, if we're not connected to what is really happening in our day and in our life and how we're feeling, then it can be more challenging for us to really hone in on those and create alternative solutions. So just some kind of food for thought, if you will. So what does your daily routine look like? What would your wake up time look like? Your breakfast time, your snack times, your lunch, your dinner? What would your nature time or your outdoor time look like? What would your stress management time, how much time do you have in your day for that? And I realize that you might be working full time and taking care of your kids doing homeschool right now. I realize that perhaps you might be in an essential worker and you're working over the amount of time that you traditionally would do. But regardless of where you're at in this large spectrum of we're all in different places right now, what works for you in your life? What works for you? What would your ideal routine look like? So for today, I would like you to just journal what that would look like. And you can utilize the resources in the course to hone in a little bit more on that. And there's also links on deep breathing. There's creating an at-home meditation practice. There's my personal recipe for vitality. And then there's my top 14 tips for a good night's rest. And then there's the food and observations journal. So you can kind of look a little further at all of that information and really just kind of start to draft out what your ideal schedule would look like. And then for today, all the way through Friday, I would encourage you to kind of stick with that schedule as much as you can. If you fall off track a little bit, the best thing to do is to just get right back on and try not to beat yourself up about it. Oftentimes, we have a tendency to really beat ourselves up over things. And instead, I would invite you just to realize what happened. Hey, I fell off track. And then the next thing to do is just, okay, great. I'm going to get right back on track. Because the sooner that you can do that, the better that you'll be able to create a pattern, a habit, a lifestyle. So that's kind of it. And then a side note is, what are your goals? So there's a reason why you are here right now. There's a reason why you're doing this online wellness retreat. What brought you here? What are you really trying to get out of this? And what do you see happening over the course of the next 5 days? What would ideally on Friday afternoon or Saturday morning, what do you want to feel like? What would you like to let go of? And what would you like to bring in? So I would like you to journal that, reflect on that, think about it, maybe write it down somewhere, put it on your fridge or by your nightstand or wherever. Just keep on coming back to that. What brought you here? What do you want to get out of this retreat? We all have different visions for what we want in our wellness and our health. And to me, I think that health is the most valuable part of life. And if we have health, where our cup is filled and we can share that with other people that need it. So I think it's important for you to put your health first. And so you have your 5-day vision, but what's your 1-month vision? What's your 3-month, your 6-month, your ongoing vision? What would you like to see your ongoing vision look like? I'm a big fan of even though, yes, I invite you to definitely live in right here and right now, but I'm a really big fan of creating kind of a long-term vision. What do you see yourself doing in your life that you're not doing right now that would make you feel good? Do those things. Right now, if we could find those things, those pearls that are within ourselves and translate them into our daily routine, then that's amazing. And maybe it's something as, I was on a bike ride yesterday and I just saw this rock and it said, be kind. Maybe it's just creating more kindness to yourself. Maybe it's creating more kindness to other people. So think about the people that you are around on your daily basis. How can you be a little bit more kind to them? How can you be more kind to yourself? So I really think that these things are all things that you can think of in your daily routine. And just mindfulness is I keep coming back to just being mindful. So it takes about 21 days to create a habit. I realize that this retreat is only 5 days, but I really think that you can kind of set the foundation during this time for your long term vision, for your 21 days and beyond your 21 days. So I would just love for you to take a little bit of time to go through the day one information and to kind of just draft out these things that we've talked about. Um, yeah, so that is essentially it. Thank you so much for tuning in and vitalize your day. All right. Namaste, friends. I will be sharing some just really great information throughout the course, and I would love for you to be a part of it. And I appreciate you for being here. All right, just make today the best day ever. All right, thank you.